this is Mike Senn, and I'm going to check my Thompson 1928 submachine gun. I just recently bought some parts for it on gunbroker.com. They're used parts, so sometimes you roll the dice and they work right out of the gate, or they need a little fine-tuning. These definitely did need some fine-tuning when I was doing a dry run with them. Some of the parts didn't fit. A couple hours Dremel tool time and filing. I believe I got them to work. I'm going to be able to check them in my shoot barrel, which I'll also cover how this thing has been made and why I like this one so much better than any of the commercially ones available that I've looked at. So we're going to do a couple mag dumps, make sure this thing works on full auto, because that's why I paid all that extra money for it, because I expect to continue to go bang, 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 or pew, pew, pew until I release the trigger. So let's make sure it works that way, and also go over what I'm shooting into and how the shoot barrel was designed. And I think anybody that works on their guns in their workshop or wherever should have some kind of a shoot barrel, especially if you're part of the 3:30 club, where 3:30 in the morning you wake up and just can't get back to sleep and have nothing else to do other than go work on your guns or fine-tune some magazines. You don't have time to go to the range and make sure that your stuff's working. So it's good to have one of these things available readily. All right, this is my shoot barrel. 55-gallon drum, metal, still got the lid on it. And I got the idea from one of my buddies that was over in Afghanistan, and when they would check their M60 machine guns, they'd dump them off into these. They were readily available there. Plenty of sand available and some 2x4 material, armor plating and such. At the bottom of this is some armor plating. Now, it's the same armor plating that a regular ball ammo 50 cal can punch a hole through at about 100 yards. Of course, it can punch a hole through just about anything. So armor plating at the bottom, and the first third of it is surrounded by 2x4s stacked lengthwise, or the tall way. So a 2x4, 2x4, 2x4 surrounding the entire drum, cut about this tall, filled with sand, and then a circular piece of 3 1/4 or 3/4 plywood placed on top of it. So first third, armor plating at the very bottom, 2x4 surrounding the edge, filled with sand. Then you've got 3/4 plywood cut out circular, another stack 2x4s kind of lined up this way, cut about that tall, filled with sand, and then another circular sheet of plywood, 3/4 inch plywood placed there. More 2x4s placed all the way around, so you know the side is protected from any of the ammo trying to eject out to the side if it ricochets or whatever. Sand in the 2x4s are going to slow it down and stop it. You know, and then you got your metal. So it's got mostly sand, and then it's got a whole bunch of that ground up recycled tire mulch. So recycled tire mulch in there. The guy that did make this for me used a very, very fine sand, so it was pretty dusty. So I've got a lot of like oiled down, non-flammable type of oil, newspaper and such that keeps a lot of that silt or very fine dust from coming out of here when I'm blowing a couple rounds in there. And he's got this set up. This is a cut away piece of that, you know, the roadside alligators that you see, the treads, the retreads that come flying off of trucks. This is just, you know, cut up with a handsaw, electric handsaw, and slid down in here. Also, some roofing tiles might work. But, you know, you shoot your first couple of rounds in here with maybe a 9mm, and then you can go down to 22. 22s may not make it through here the first time, so you want to have some kind of hole in there. But that's the initial layer that I shoot through. So that is my shoot barrel. Hearing and eye protection, of course, and I've backed off a little bit so I don't get any silt blown up into my barrel. Hopefully this will go full auto. Okay, I do have an issue. It didn't continue to fire while I was holding the trigger down. What's the problem? We're going to try a different magazine just to make sure that it wasn't magazine related. All right, got a different mag going. Fire in the hole. All right, that's a problem. That that definitely did not continue to fire as I held down the trigger. About the same amount of rounds were expended. So I'm going to have to work on this, because prior to taking this apart and cleaning it up, there were no issues with mag dumps on this. So back to the drawing board, back to taking it apart again, reassembling it, figure out what the problem is. One thing I do want to ask any of my viewers about, if you know anything about securing this compensator. This compensator is moving on me. You know, I can twist it, I can turn it, and I've removed the front side post to see if it was pinned in. I've tried to unscrew it. I don't want this thing to end up being shot downrange, but it'll rotate. It's loose. Anybody work with any of these 1970s built West Hurley Thompson 1928 machine guns? I'd like to know exactly what you're doing to secure your compensator to the weapon. Try to look it up on YouTube, where most of us go for that type of information. Haven't been able to find anything yet. So if you can, go ahead and comment. Let me know how it's done, or if you know a link, let me know about it. Thank you.